Well, none of this presents an easy act to follow, so I will do my best. And my major purpose today is to welcome you back, to say good morning and welcome back. It's good to see you all here, and we're ready for a new year. I extend a special welcome to our newest colleagues. My thanks to those of you who challenged us to think about the concept of a model community, and my gratitude to all of you who were either featured in the video or who shared ideas and feedback to help guide its development. Somehow, in just 6 minutes, we glimpse into the passion, the commitment, and the values that make Otterbein, Otterbein. It's not just what was said, it's the authenticity I saw in the faces and the conviction I heard in the voices. As I listened and watched, I couldn't help but nod my head in agreement. This is what we do. This is what we value. This is who we are. This video inspires me because it is a reminder that what happens here is indeed special. It is also a reminder that it is our people who make Otterbein special. Every institution of learning contributes to transforming the lives of students. That is essentially the mission of every university. But the intention, the investment, and the care that characterizes Otterbein in developing and guiding that transformation and that transformative process, well, that is something that is uniquely Otterbein. As John Stefano accentuated in his closing point, that's what we do. And it is time that we own that distinction with pride. After reimagining the entire curriculum and infusing the integrative studies program with new relevance for the 21st century scholar citizen, after standing shoulder to shoulder with prestigious peers to shape the dialogue on the full potential of experiential learning, after years of better understanding ourselves through our service to others, after reflecting on our mission, our guiding principles, and our values to shape a vision for Otterbein's future, after working on a brand study that included talking with and listening to more than 350 fellow members of our Otterbein community, through paper surveys, electronic surveys, small group discussions, and one-on-one interviews, we listened to you and you told us what makes Otterbein different. Of course, the story was here all along. Faculty leaders like Beth Doherty, Jim Gorman, John Tanzi, Shelley Payne, Jackie Haverkamp, David Robertson, Jeffrey Smith, and Meredith Fry know very well what makes Otterbein distinctive. Even some of our newest faculty members, as you saw in the video, like Anna Young and Paul Wendell, who are preparing to start only their second year at Otterbein, understand it. Kate Lehman, Niraj Sharma, Elizabeth Saltzgiver, Ryan Breckville, Annette Bose, they know it as well. Our students, their parents, our alumni, and their families know it too. So do partners like Westerville City Schools, the City of Westerville, the Westerville Chamber of Commerce, and the Westerville Area Resource Ministry. And now it's time to make sure the rest of the world knows it as well. What is Otterbein's story? What makes Otterbein distinctive? The essence of the Otterbein difference, or our brand, ultimately comes down to the 4 pillars that I'm going to share with you today. We'll be talking about what these pillars mean and how we can exemplify them, celebrate them, and communicate them in the year ahead. But today is all about starting the conversation and sharing the results of the exploration we have undertaken over the past couple of years. Otterbein offers Pillar 1, the smartest way to learn. That's a bold claim, but I know it's true. The American Association of Colleges and Universities has described Otterbein's integrated studies curriculum as the model that should be emulated by other institutions. The AAC&U also invited Otterbein, along with Georgetown and Tufts, to help shape the nation's conversation about further integration of the high-impact practice of experiential learning. Couple these facts with the ways we have always challenged our students to gain in-depth knowledge within their major field of study. Consider, too, our innovative and intentional efforts to blend the liberal arts and professional studies. There is no question that Otterbein offers its students the smartest way to learn. It's why Otterbein's faculty reimagined the curriculum with a new 21st century focus on the global scholar beginning back in 2007. It's why national conference after national conference asks our leaders to explain what we do and how we do it. They want to learn from us. Plenty of schools encourage internships or promote leadership or encourage undergraduate research, but Otterbein has taken this type of learning to a new level, helping students build multiple competencies and values in curricular and co-curricular experiences from the very first day they are on campus. The 5 cardinal experiences coupled with the IS curriculum constitute the core of our signature program and the foundation of our recognition as an innovator in undergraduate education. The fact that we ask students to document their experiences and to reflect on them, and that we discuss the importance of the students' experiences with them, makes it an integral and intentional part of our students' preparation. The faculty, scholars, and administrative leaders of Otterbein will never stop challenging themselves to develop the most dynamic, relevant, and meaningful ways to help our students learn. It means we will never stand still because we know there will always be room to grow, to change, and to develop new ways of educating. It's what we've always done. It's what we will always do. It's why Otterbein offers the smartest way to learn. Pillar 2 is a place to belong. If you are ready to learn, if you are ready to make a difference in the world, if you are ready to be accepted, recognized, and valued for who you are and what you alone have to offer, then you belong at Otterbein. Otterbein has served as a welcome place to the dreams, the abilities, and the goals of anyone who answered yes to any of these questions. When the rest of the world saw only black or white, male or female, affluent or disadvantaged, American or foreigner, all that Otterbein has ever looked for is a bright mind, a compassionate heart, and skilled hands ready to go to work and to make good. The packaging didn't matter. It was what was inside of those individuals that interested Otterbein. That's what being a college of opportunity meant then in 1847 and continues to mean today. We have been the ultimate talent scouts from the moment our doors opened in 1847. When you combine the warmth, welcome, and regard of genuinely caring and good people with an inherent moral compass that makes inclusiveness and equality its true north, you describe this place known as Otterbein. If you believe this, you belong at Otterbein. Pillar 3 is the opportunity to realize one's personal best. More than 15 years ago, long before my path would join with Otterbein's, a friend shared a story at a high school reunion about his 2 sons and how their respective institutions had shaped them. The one son, he said, was a born achiever. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He went on to a professional school and did well. The other son, my friend explained to me, was less sure of his path. He was a wonderful young man, but lacked confidence in the knowledge of what path he wanted to pursue. He told me that this son went on to attend a small school named Otterbein, and when he graduated, he was an entirely different person. He became confident, self-assured. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life. His values were founded and grounded in what happened at this school, and he went on to be a unique, successful, and confident individual. He became a true leader. As my friend said, he became my great surprise, and I attribute his success to Otterbein. That's more than a story of transformation. It's the kind of self-realization of one's potential that is the essence of what happens at Otterbein. One of the things Otterbein does best to help students find their way is to realize their potential. Because we have so much emphasis on the individual, because faculty work so closely with each individual, because faculty and staff together work to find the unique opportunities that best fit that individual, it creates an increasingly and amazingly supportive infrastructure of support for each and every student. It builds their confidence, it helps them take risks in a safe environment, and it helps them sometimes surprise themselves in terms of what they're able to achieve. We take students from where they are to where they want to be, and often to places they never imagined they could be. Much as an athlete trains with the goal of continuously improving upon his or her own best time, we too are aware of those milestones in our students, in our colleagues, and in our alumni and donors. We don't compete against each other at Otterbein, we challenge one another to compete within ourselves. And the added incentive is the benefit of a whole community cheering for us each time that we achieve something better than the last time. And finally, pillar 4, the values to serve the common good. Otterbein is a very value-centered institution, and those values are not unique to Otterbein today. They are values that take us all the way back to our founding in 1847. From the beginning, the people of Otterbein have asked, how does what we do enrich and improve the quality of life for our immediate community? We still ask ourselves the same question today, but now we cast a net that includes our beloved Westerville and reaches far beyond its boundaries. Wendell Berry once noted that a proper community is a commonwealth, a place, a resource, an economy. It answers the needs, practical as well as social and spiritual, of its members, among them the need to need one another. One of the phrases so many of us associate with Otterbein is our commitment to educating our students in the context of humane values. This is how Otterbein meets Berry's definition. When you are a part of the Otterbein community, you understand what it means to value the need to need one another. Members of the Otterbein community understand why it is important to think, to work, and to act in a way that benefits the common good. In fact, we serve the common good in ways that are too numerous to count. Not to mention the fact that Otterbein has historically been too humble and too noble to attempt to quantify what we have always understood our responsibility and our obligations to be, to support one another, to care about one another, to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. Whether that comes in the form of inspirational educators to lead our classrooms, savvy business minds to lead the boardroom, curious researchers to lead exploration and discovery, compassionate nurses to lead quality care, talented artists, musicians, and thespians to lead our appreciation of beauty, or engaged citizens who lead with their awareness and service in caring about their neighbors across the street as much as they do their sisters and brothers across the world. An alumna shared her belief that Otterbein's value structure makes it possible to distinguish our graduates. She explained that it came down to this simple truth. If there's an obligation to be met or a promise to be kept, Otterbein people do it. They are good to their word. And so these are the 4 pillars: the smartest way to learn, a place to belong, the opportunity to realize one's personal best, and the values that guide serving the common good. They point us to an important outcome, and that is this: living and learning in Otterbein's model community prepares us to lead a life of purpose. As Beth Doherty reminded us, our students leave here with more than a career. They leave here with a calling, something that they have come to believe in. There's a reason this happens. Of course, it happens in part because of the potential and the talent that exists in each of our students. Knowledge, service, friendship, life-changing experiences, they all contribute to discovering that calling as well. But it is also because of each of you. It is the way you teach, mentor, challenge, and inspire. For faculty, it is the way your own scholarly and creative pursuits never end. You are still learning and searching for the truth so that you can share it with your students. For staff and administrators, it is the way you care about one another and about our students. For all of us, it is the way we engage with our community and with the world beyond. As members of the Otterbein community, we work to model professionalism, compassion, engagement, and integrity. We have all found more than a career here. Your individual calling, the way you lead a life of purpose, is by serving as Otterbein teachers, leaders, dreamers, thinkers, and doers. With every newscast I watch, with every statistic I read that sobers me, I am reminded that the world needs now more than ever what Otterbein is uniquely able to offer through its graduates, its community, and its service. Your life's work serves an important purpose. Your efforts support each student's ability to truly become an individual in his or her own right. While they're here, you help them build on their talents as they build on their values and as they build on their experiences. And as a result, they will go out into the world prepared to go to work and be successful, not only in their professions, not only in their families, and not only in their communities, but in terms of how they value and are prepared to serve the common good. For years, we have sung a beautiful love song, and I'll remind you that that is also a statement about Otterbein. We don't just have another alma mater, we have a love song. And in this love song, we sing about the quiet, peaceful village that we hold so dear. There is, yes, an easy grace that is offered in this pastoral setting. We live, work, and serve surrounded by this picturesque campus. It is peppered with elegant collegiate brick buildings, and it is bordered by the very best of our Westerville neighbors. Without question, Otterbein offers comfort, respite, and support to all who seek it here. But I want to make one important distinction about this village. We may be quiet, and we may be peaceful, but make no mistake, we are bold, and our purpose is vital. Quiet shouldn't be confused with complacent. When you're doing what is right, what is innovative, what is meaningful, you don't have to shout it out to the entire world. At Otterbein, you simply roll up your sleeves, gather the smartest, most creative, and caring people you can, and attempt to solve the challenges that are before you. It's why Reverend Lewis Davis wouldn't be still. He had a purpose. He had something to say and to do, something he believed would make a difference and make a positive impact on the quality of life for his church, his community, and those who depended upon or benefited from both. That is why Otterbein has quietly but honorably set the pace as a leader in higher education since its founding. And that is also the essence of our vision. Otterbein's values, coupled with a commitment to social innovation, will enable us to continue to drive ahead in defining what a model community is, as it consists of educators, learners, and leaders in the 21st century. This is the conversation I invite you to join in the coming months. This is the work we do. This is what distinguishes us. I have listened carefully to what you have shared as part of the coffee conversations we've had over the past year. I've listened to what you're passionate about, and I'm looking to respond to your challenges in ways that will have meaning, purpose, and value for you. I heard you, many of you, when you told me that you wanted more opportunities to feel pride and to celebrate your university. There are many ways we can do this. And I'll be asking all of you as leaders and contributing members of our Otterbein community to take initiative and help build these ideas and suggestions into meaningful, visible programs, practices, and behaviors. One of your suggestions that came up repeatedly was that we establish Cardinal Pride Days. Many of you said you want to see red, a sea of cardinal red out there, with plenty of Otterbein spirit apparel. Fall is a great time to start such a tradition. We're starting a new year, and our fall sports will bring us together to cheer on our Cardinals. So I propose we start with homecoming weekend. On Friday, September 20th, let's show up for work in Cardinal Red, and we'll build from there. I'll be calling on some of you to organize how we can demonstrate our Cardinal pride throughout the year, but homecoming would be a nice place to start. We'll also build Cardinal pride by getting to know more about one another. You'll notice posters across campus as you go out today that reinforce our new brand pillars that have been discussed. There are 9 locations across campus. These posters will highlight the pillars through the ideas, values, and accomplishments of the members of this community. You can look at our first slate starting today, which features Education Professor Emeritus Marlene Daringer, Athletic Director Don Stewart, and Senior Theater Major John Carter. Also, the Brand Advisory Committee will continue to help guide the ways we celebrate, promote, and live our brand. As our pillars become part of Otterbein's messaging, the committee will explore the use of a possible tagline and consider themes for possible future campaigns to promote our university. I also heard many of you say that you want more opportunities to come together to enjoy the company of your colleagues. So, the Otterbein Holiday Party is returning to the President's House this year. Many of you told me that you thought this practice was more personal and special, and that's part of who we are. So on December 11th, put it on your calendars, from 4 to 7 p.m., Richard and I will be pleased to welcome you at the President's House. Also, together with Bon Appetit and a small group of colleagues from Student Affairs, Marketing, and University Archives, we're freshening up the 1847 room. I've heard a lot about 1847. The decor may be new, with new chairs, lighting, and paint, but the treasured spirit of community that you value will get its rightful place in this new space. You'll notice in the new 1847 room that we'll have a wall that invites you to share ideas and join the conversation on topics that will change each month. Through our coffees, I heard a lot about communication as well. You want to hear more, share more, learn more, understand each other better. One way I would like to suggest that we do that while also building institutional pride and strengthening our community will be to launch an ongoing series of lunch conversations. We should showcase the talents of our community and discuss the topics that matter to you. To get it started, I will host the first lunch conversation on Wednesday, September 25th at noon in the 1847 room to continue the conversation we're starting about what it means to be part of a model community. As you heard today, there are many ways to consider this vision. We've only just started to think about how Otterbein will bring this idea to fruition. We have an entire community full of brilliant, interesting, thoughtful people. You give us many good reasons to be proud each day, and we have much that we can learn from each other. I'm eager to hear more about what you want these lunch conversations to become, who you would like to hear from, and what you would like to discuss. If you have an idea, I invite you to send an email to greatideas@otterbein.edu. It's a virtual suggestion box that was another suggestion from the recent coffee conversations. Let me know what topics you're interested in exploring. The 1847 room will also feature an in-room chef special each month, and you'll also see a new archives exhibition each season to share more of our Otterbein history. I also hope you'll take advantage of a new offering that lets you purchase 10 lunches for $60 there, and with that you get one lunch free, which means Otterbein is proving that there is such a thing as a free lunch, or that we figured out a way to reduce the overall cost of lunch to only $5.45. I hope you will take the time or make the time to reconnect with your colleagues in this space, whether it's an organized program or meeting, or you just decide to invite a colleague to join you for lunch. And finally, as you leave today, we have a small gift for you. Alumni and staff volunteers will be passing out a coffee mug with a simple reminder printed on the side. This is one of them. You are a member of this community, and with that membership are privileges. One small perk we wanted to offer is to provide you with opportunities to bump into colleagues informally and regularly. For the rest of August and September, if you bring this mug to the Roost or the Otterbein, you'll get a cup of coffee for free. So you gotta get your mug, okay? Starting in October, get the date here, starting in October, if you bring this mug in, it will cost you just $1 to fill it. Now, that doesn't include Starbucks specialty drinks, but a good strong cup of coffee to start your day seemed like a nice way to say welcome back and to invite you to join the conversation. I'll be announcing dates in the Monday tweets and through other social media to invite you to join me for other informal get-togethers around campus. If you bring your mug, the coffee will be my treat. Let's see what the other cabinet members might think of to do. I know Bob particularly likes to meet at Graders, so. In your mug, you'll also find a wallet card inserted, which states the university's new mission, values, vision, and guiding principles, as well as the brand statement that we've discussed today. I hope that you might carry this card with you or put it someplace where it's visible, to remember that in this community, there is pride and work that we share. You'll also find an Otterbein lapel pin in your mug. It's a way to outwardly share your pride as a part of the education, discovery, and purpose that Otterbein represents. I hope you'll wear this pin with pride or pass it along to someone who exemplifies the values that we hold dear. Should you need an extra, just give me a call. Remember, each one of you stands as the best, most impressive pillar of Otterbein's brand. Your truths, your actions, your commitments are what others consider Otterbein to represent. I hope you'll be as proud to tell our story as I am. In closing, I want to briefly offer some highlights at the outset of this new academic year. A detailed summary of those highlights will be added to my Ozone this week, as will a link to the video that we all just watched, in case you want to share it with those who couldn't join us today. This fall, we'll launch a search for a Vice President for Academic Affairs, and I'm very proud and grateful that we have Dr. Krendl's leadership and her willingness to serve during this interim process. We'll also be welcoming a new class of Cardinals later this week, and while we won't have final numbers for a few days, our class looks very strong. We're making progress toward meeting our strategic enrollment goals with meaningful gains in academic preparedness, male enrollment, and out-of-state students. You'll discover greater bandwidth and an increase in the number of access points as you go around campus and test the wireless network. The grounds improvements I hope you've noticed across campus and the renovations happening in the library are just beginning phases of the implementation of the campus master plan. And personally, I think that the changes in the library will knock your socks off next week when you go in there. At homecoming, we'll explore what it might feel to have, what it might feel like to have a Grove pedestrian walkway and park as the master plan also envisioned as we close off Grove Street between Main and the campus center. We can all begin to see and feel what such an addition to campus might be like. We'll be discussing and beginning implementation of the results of the Male Experience Report that was led by Student Affairs, and we'll be eager to be informed about the work of the Governance Review Commission that began its deliberations over the summer. We'll also be working to establish an on-campus counseling center, and finally, in Lake Fall, you'll be hearing about the plan to launch the public phase of a comprehensive campaign. Please also look for important news through the monthly university updates, and mark your date and your calendar for the Fall Semester Summit, which is scheduled for Thursday, October 31st. In closing, I appreciate your attendance today, and I thank you for your contributions and your hard work. I appreciate all that you do in the name of Otterbein. I also want to recognize a few people. I want to thank Gina for all of her good work in planning this event, in doing all of the interviews, talking with one more person one more time, circling back to the steering committee to find out whether she was on the right track. But also Gina's colleagues for their efforts in planning today's kickoff. We heard a lot about the need for more celebration. This is the beginning of one of those kinds of celebrations. And I want to thank Gina and the planning committee for their work. I also want to thank the members of the Brand Advisory Committee who steered this process. And I want to thank our speakers for today, all of the many people who participated in preparing the comments for today. So if I could ask those folks just to stand and be recognized, I want to say thank you. And I hope breakfast was good.